Welcome back, guys. My name is Chris Patrick, and today I am very excited to bring you guys along for our brand new build that we've got going on, and it's something that I've been planning for quite some time, and I hope you guys are excited as I am. But today, we're getting ready to build ourselves a Mudboss. This particular build, I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory on what I plan to do with it, because it's kind of special to me, and I hope you guys appreciate my enthusiasm and support for also this build as well. So, the intent of this build is going to be a multi-build or a multi-video build series for you guys to understand the steps and some of the rules and caveats of building mud bosses from start to finish. And that way you guys are comfortable in trying to get into the hobby, and that's what this focus is about. So this particular car that I'm building is going to be used as what I'm calling a rental ride. And what that means is I am promoting locally for people to be able to come race with me, and I'm going to charge a very minimal fee, probably $5 to be exact, for somebody to get into racing. So they can rent this car from me once it's built and be able to race at a local racetrack, make some laps, and try to promote getting people into the hobby. I don't care if it's younger kids or adults. That way, if somebody's interested and they're kind of thinking about joining into the RC world, that this way they can get their feet wet, see if they like the concept of racing. And if they do, then they don't have to invest in a whole lot of money up front to make sure that they like doing something like this. And it's something that I want to promote for people to get into the hobby. That's mainly my focus, is educate people and try to get more people involved. Because if we can't get more people involved in racing, then unfortunately, eventually the sport will die off. But we all know it's probably not going to happen. It's just going to make it a little bit harder for people to find access to racing and so forth. So my goal is mainly to try to get younger people, younger generations into RC racing with us. So first things, before we get closer to the vehicle, I want to talk to you about a couple different things. First thing you should be doing is going to your local racetrack and reading your local rules on your local track, but also going online and printing off a Salvas Mudboss official 2020 rules list. And read these before you buy or purchase a single component. Before you buy a car, used or new, doesn't matter, go to your local track and download the online official rules. Because some places may allow you to run something differently than what the national rules are. So, for example, my track allows me to run a low center of gravity chassis. It says in this rules that it is not allowed on a standard Mudboss. We are allowed to run a 13.5 just stock motor, where the official rules does not allow you to do that. So those are just some examples. Oh, and also tires. But those are just a few examples of what I'm allowed to do to a Mudboss in my area, to my local tracks, and that may be different for you guys. So I'm going to try to build this as true as possible to the official Mudboss rules. That way I can also take this somewhere else if I decide that I want to run somewhere that does not allow a low center of gravity. I will also have that option as well. But the nice thing is, talk to your local people. Your local people at your local tracks, whether it be the fast guys, whether it be the new the new people, or like the young generations that's racing, or the track owners, all of them. If you just say, hey, I'm new to the hobby, I haven't bought anything yet, I'm kind of learning, I'm interested, what do you suggest? I guarantee you will find a handful of people that are willing to give you some advice on what to look for, what to buy, what not to do, what to do, and so forth. And I can't stress that enough. Rely on your local tracks for help and support, because usually 9 times out of 10, somebody is more than willing to help you, just like I am here today making this video for you. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to get you a little bit closer. We're going to go over the build and go over a couple different things for you guys and show you what parts we've accumulated and what we've got going on for this. So let's go ahead and get a little bit closer. Now that we've got you guys a little bit closer to the workbench, let's talk about some rules and some parts and things that I'm suggesting that you do. So, first things first, like I said, go and download your official 2020 Salvas Mudboss class rules. You can find it online by doing a quick Google search. I will put a link in the description down below in the video on where to find these particular rules. And reading these and understanding the rules is probably one of the hardest things that people struggle with, because they want to try to think that they can get away with changing certain parts and pieces out to try to get a little bit more, or an advantage by running a certain part over another, and that's not what this video is about. I am not trying to teach somebody the wrong way on how to build a Mudboss. I'm just building this how I feel that other people should be building them. So with that being said, you have some options. You can buy a brand new in the box. It does not have to be the Ford Raptor edition. This just happens to be the one that I have here in my possession. It is also my son's. It has not been removed out of the box yet. I mean, I have removed it, but he's not messed with it. So these are $229.99, I believe, right now, new in a box for the regular version. And it will come with just about everything that you would need besides a body, and going to need to pick up a set of Duratrax body posts. These are the 2.5 inch version. I don't know if this is going to be tall enough. I believe it is, according to some calculations that I've done. If not, we'll find out here in a video or two, that we may have to go to like a 3 or 3.5 inch. I know a lot of people run 4 inch, and to my opinion, those are way too tall. So we're going to find out if the short ones are going to work. We'll find out. And then the only other part that you would really need to pick up is a Traxxas front bumper for, I believe it's for a Stampede. And it's part number 2735. And this I will explain later when we go to actually building it, why you need to have this part. And the last part that I would highly suggest for adjustability and tuning that you would pick up is going to be a set of shock limiters. These are RCC Speed Shops, which stands for Remote Controlled Cincinnati. They are on eBay. It is a $12 pack of internal shock spacers with a bunch of different sizes, a bunch of different pieces, and I feel like this gives me the most benefit for adjustability when it comes to internal shock adjustments, and that's going to help you bring the center of gravity down, help some of the body roll that you're going to get with these chassis. It's also going to help with removing some push that these vehicles are known to have. We'll get into detail of what these come for later. It's just an introductory to parts. And so the rest of what I've purchased is to go along with this, as that's why I left those to the side for currently. So what I have chose to do is I purchased a used slider. I paid $25 for this particular Mudboss, or this particular slash. It does not have a slipper assembly or any kind of gearing. It has a transmission, and all the internals are there. It just does not have the slipper assembly on the exterior of this particular assembly. So I had reached out on eBay, found a brand new takeoff set that somebody was selling with 2 different spurs, has the slippers, has the spring, has the nut, has the pin, everything that I need. I want to say this particular kit, I paid, I think it was $12, $13 shipped to my door for this whole system, which I thought was a really, really good price. Like I said, they're brand new takeoffs. It does not have a steering servo, and that is probably one of the weakest parts on any Mudboss build out there, is people try to use the stock steering servo that comes in a stock Traxxas slash. And they will work just fine if you don't hit anything. The problem is nobody plans to hit walls. The issue is people wreck you, or you lose control of a vehicle during a race, or somebody wrecks in front of you and you T-bone them. it does not take a whole lot to break the internal plastic gears on a stock steering servo, which is the blue 2075 model. You can buy, and I highly suggest, if you get into RC racing, any of these two, upgrade the internal plastics to a metal gear set. I want to say it's about $20 to buy the metal gear set. It is absolutely worth the money. I tried it on my personal Mudboss, and I stripped mine on like the second race on carpet. So yeah, it's not worth the risk. I will tell you right now, most of the time, if you survive a race without wrecking, like driving consistently, if you're a little bit slower than everybody else and you finish races, you have a better chance of winning than if you keep breaking down or you spend all of your time broke down on the side of the racetrack because you can't finish. If you can't get to the finish line because you keep braking, why not figure out how to make your car bulletproof? This is one of those pieces. So I went online on eBay and found a 2075X, which is their waterproof metal geared version. So the metal geared is what I wanted. I think I paid $24 on eBay shipped. This was a brand new takeoff, and you can tell it has zero wear, zero scratches anywhere on this thing. Looks brand new, fantastic. So I could have purchased a 2075 blue version, the standard one. You can pick them up on eBay for about $13, $14, $15, and then you're going to spend $20 on a gear set for it to make it the same thing as the 2075X. So if you just go straight to the 2075X, you save a little bit of money, and it comes already pre-built, ready for you to be able to replace. Now, if you go this route with the brand new one, then obviously just buy the gear set. It is absolutely worth the money. And it is legal according to the Salvas Mudboss rules in the electronics section 3-2. They talk about the 2075X and the 2072X gears are allowed as alternative parts or servos, and you can run the Salvas SC0252MG digital servo, which is also allowed as well. So those would be the two that I would suggest, is the 2075X or the Salvas. Be warned, the Salvas are power hungry, and I have seen some issues in the past with certain receivers and Salvas steering servos not playing very well together. So if you run Spectrum products and you run a Salvas servo, you may run into some issues. That is a caveat that I have learned a few years ago. So I don't run those two combinations together. I love Salvas servos. I don't have an issue with them on any of my personal builds, but I also do not run Spectrum radios for that exact reason. So since we have a roller, we're going to need some electronics. Or sorry, a slider. We have a slider. We need tires and wheels and all that fun stuff. So, at the same swap meet I purchased this, I found a gentleman that was selling brand new takeoff. I mean, you can see that there's no wear and tear. It's brand new. A 12-turn Titan and a XL5 Traxxas ESE still has the power plug for the Traxxas, which will be getting replaced, by the way. So this is the factory traditional Mudboss motor ESC combination that you are allowed to run. I plan on doing a whole series on how to break in one of these, so stay tuned for that. It will be included in this video series as well. So we have a steering servo, we have a motor ESC combination. Then the last part that we're going to need is we're going to need ourselves a radio system. So I have a Traxxas TQI system, radio, and receiver combination that I had from my personal Mudboss. I chose to upgrade my personal Mudboss and get a receiver designed for my Sanwa radio system. So I went ahead and took that off of that build and moved it to this one. So I have a radio and for this. So the last few components and pieces that you're going to need to finish your build is going to be some tires and wheels and a body. If you go with the stock box, brand new one, you are only technically legally allowed to run those tires and wheels in the Mudboss class if you're going by the official Salvas Mudboss rules. Unfortunately, my local track does not allow them, and they require to run a set of DE Racing Borrego SC wheels, and they require you to run Duratrax Bandito tires, and this happens to be in the C3 compound, which is their softest compound that they make for the short course trucks. This is something that is required by one track local to me that forces every class that runs Mudboss to run this. So this goes back to what I told you earlier about making sure you go and talk to your local track to make sure before you buy anything, because you could have bought, let's say you went the used route, you've already bought a set of used and tires from somebody or a friend, wherever, doesn't matter, and you find out that the tires and wheels that you have, they don't allow. And that's what trying to get you to go to the track before you buy anything and talk to people and ask some questions like, hey, what are you running? What are the rules like for this class? Because it saves you money down the road. That's what I'm trying to prevent, is because a lot of people will go down that, what I call rabbit hole, where you buy a part, then you find out you can't run it, then you buy a second part, then you find out you can't run that because it's not legal either, and that's what I don't want you to get into. So just because I am doing it for my build doesn't mean it will fit you in your class at your local track. Please, please, please go to your local tracks. Talk to the track owners. Go on Facebook and find the local track group and ask questions on there. I'm sure somebody will steer you in the right direction. The last part and piece that you're going to need is a body. I believe a lot of local tracks will let you run the stock / body if you choose to. The downside is those particular bodies are not designed for oval racing. They're designed for off-road racing. So what I mean by that is you lose a lot of downforce, which also is grip. These bodies are designed a very specific way, and they give you side bite as well as forward downforce and the wing on the back. It makes a huge difference when it comes to how your car will handle on the track. If you simply take a car that is set up real well with a Mudboss body and you try to put a slash body on top of it, I guarantee you your car will not drive right, and it will probably be loose, and you will have issues, and you'll get very frustrated very fast trying to chase a setup problem using a truck body. So go online, do some research, try to find out who makes Mudboss bodies. There are a bunch of companies out there. Carpy, for example, is one that I would suggest, and he does custom designed and printed vinyl and will ship it to you in flat stock, and then you'll have to put it together with the appropriate nylon bolts and screws and stuff that they will supply you for putting it together. But he does custom ones that fit you and what you're looking for. So if you have a very specific, let's say, sponsorship that you're trying to build a body for and you want your own graphics on it, he will work with you on that. That's the nice thing about that. Or you can go on eBay. I guarantee you can find probably 100 or more postings for Mudboss pre-wrapped vinyl bodies, and I believe that's where this one came from. I did not buy this particular body. This one came with my Mudboss when I bought mine used from a local racer that was getting out of racing. He had just purchased this one. I believe it came from eBay. They're like they're anywhere from $100 to $120 for a body with a wrap. You do not have to wrap them. You can paint them if you choose to. You can buy the bodies just like regular clear Lexan bodies. I will warn you, these bodies do take a pretty good abuse because the class is very close, and the vinyl seems to take the abuse a lot better than paint does, because paint will start chipping off where the vinyl really doesn't. So this has a full race season on it, and it still looks very, very good in my opinion for having a full year racing. That's why I chose to move it to the rent-a-ride vehicle that we're building. So with that, we're going to wrap this video up. I appreciate you guys and all of your time and support. I appreciate each and every one of you that has been a follower or a subscriber to me. I hope you all are just as excited about this build as I am. Please comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this. What do you think of the rent-a-ride program? What do you think of the parts? Is there anything that I missed that I need to look into before I start building this thing completely? Let me know. I will respond to pretty much every comment, and that's one thing that I try to strive to do for you guys. So I know I'm rambling, so I'm gonna let you all go. Thank you again for all the support, and I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget, this is a multi-video series, so I plan to get these things out as quickly as I can for you, but bear with me. I am racing and trying to build at the same time, and I have a family, so sometimes videos get sprawled out between things, and I apologize in advance. So with that, I know I'm rambling. Again, later guys, thank you all very much, and you have a wonderful and fantastic day.